Alright, so what's up everybody? It's the holiday season, and since it's the holiday season, I have been given a specific task by my wife. She wants me to take all of the holiday and birthday and family vacation videos and put them onto DVD. Now that might sound like a pretty easy task to most of you. But I'm going to tell you, I found this to be quite daunting. To take this old technology, these old 8mm camera cassettes, and putting them to DVD has been a problem. And I'll tell you, the biggest problem hasn't really been figuring out how to get the video to record. That was fairly easy, actually. The hardest part has been finding software that will support this legacy video and audio stream together. So what I found is that a lot of this video, when it records and I capture it too, and I'm using Adobe software, when I capture it, it captures the video at one rate and the audio at a different rate. And what I can determine for the most part is, from what I've read online, is that's because of gaps within the tape. At some point when you stop the camera and there has been any sort of a gray area, for some reason your capture software doesn't recognize those, so the audio becomes messed up. And I struggled with this for a while. Well, I finally figured this out. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share with you from start to finish how to make something from this into a DVD using just Adobe software. So you know the routine, guys. Go grab a cup of coffee. Get something to take notes with, because here we go. Okay, that's my Sony Handycam, circa 1990s, 700 times digital zoom, digital 8 Handycam. We paid a fortune for that back when it was brand new, and you can get them now on Goodwill for like $4. On that, or attached to that, I have a wire going to my Mac, the iWire or FireWire, whatever it's called. It's just the traditional MacBook wire connection. And then I have a MacBook Pro laptop. Nothing really special about it, other than it does have 16 gigs of RAM. So trust me, when you're rendering video, you need all the RAM you can get. What I'm going to do for you is I am going to take you from start to finish through this whole thing, this whole process. We're going to be using 3 programs. We're going to be using Adobe Premiere Pro to capture and create the video. We're also going to be editing the audio, because what you're going to find is, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but it's a common phenomenon, when this audio gets captured into Premiere Pro, oftentimes the audio is way shorter than the video. So I'm going to show you how to fix that. It took me a while to figure it out, but it's doable. Then we're going to go into how to degrain, smooth the video out a little bit, make it look more professional, more studious, and then we're going to go into how to burn it to a DVD, all using the Adobe Creative Cloud Suite that you can purchase on a monthly basis from Adobe. Okay, here we go. So let's just jump right into this, shall we? Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do is open Premiere Pro, start a new project. Click this button right here. I'm going to call this project tape number 9, because this is the 9th one I've done. Make sure that you've got these settings the same. Most important is your DV setting. It's not HDV, it's DV. Otherwise it's just not going to work for you. Found that out the hard way several times. And then you'll go to your Premiere screen, go to File, and this is assuming you've got your camera hooked up to your machine. Okay, click Capture right here, and this is going to bring this other screen up that's, you know, like a traditional media playing screen. You saw this in your 1974 Volkswagen dashboard when you needed to play cassette tapes. Go up to the tape name. I called it, again, tape number 9. You can call it whatever you want, but this is I'm going to show you how to save several clips from one videotape, because I try to cut out some of the blank spaces anyway. Go down here, make sure you're rewound all the way, hit the tape button. Very important, hit the tape button. What this is going to do is this is going to play your tape from your camcorder, and Adobe Premiere is going to videotape it, is going to record it as it plays. So I'm not going to make you sit here through this whole thing. Just understand this is what's going on, and after this we're going to go on to something else. Alright, so I'm going to cut right here, and we're going to assume that this entire tape is played, or this clip has played, and as you stop it, it will save these clips. So we'll assume that this clip is played, and then we're going to go on from here. Just give it a second. You should be seeing puppies right now, like I am, and there's not going to be any audio to this, which I've done on purpose. I will play what's pertinent when the time comes. Okay, as you can see now, I've stopped this, and we've got several clips that I have captured. And I'm going to go ahead and grab one, and I'm going to drag it over here into the timeline. And you're going to create your movie from dragging these clips into the timeline. And if you'll look at the audio, you're going to see there at the very end, and this is what's important, you go from having sound waves to having just straight lines. And what that means is that at some point in time it compressed your audio, and those straight lines are going to be nothing but silence, and your the audio before those straight lines is going to be very fast and garbled. Okay, and I'll play you a sample. This is what this sounds like.
What's your name? Billy. Over here. Billy Smith. How old are you? 5. What's your teacher's name? Mr. Jackie?
That horrible? Sure it is. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to fix that. First thing you want to do is you want to right click this, and you want to unlink the two. So the two are linked together. You want to unlink them so that you can actually trim the audio. You're going to grab your razor tool over here. You're going to go to where the audio stops right here. And again, it's just where the straight line starts, so it's not really hard to see. And you're going to cut that off. You're just going to take that razor and cut that son of a buck. And then you're going to delete what you cut off, because you don't need that. Now we're going to go in here and we're going to find the blank spot that in the video part that caused the problem to begin with. And if you look, you can see that there's this little gray area. And from what I understand from my reading, this is what causes the problem, is this gray area. And I just pulled these two little dots together there on the bottom to make my frames larger and easier to manage. And I'm going to get right to where that video starts going bad. And once I find the frame where that video has started going bad, and there it is, see, it's where the baby is, I'm going to cut that son of a gun. I'm going to delete all that bad stuff. So now it's a simple process, and again I'm going to collapse this timeline so that you can see it in its entirety, of making the audio file fit the video file. Not really complicated. It seemed complicated to me because I struggled with this for a while. But if you go here to the ripple edit tool, and you hold your mouse down on that, and you go down to the very bottom selection, you can grab your audio file and you can pull it out to match the video file. Now this isn't going to be exact. you're going to have to do a little fine tuning, but it's going to be real close. And it's at least going to sound like normal. You may have the whole Chinese kung fu movie thing going on where the words don't completely match up to the mouth movements, but you can tweak it and you can fix it. You can enlarge the whole timeline like I showed you a second ago, and then you can tweak it like we just did, just here, just now. You can just keep tweaking it until you've got it perfect. And man, you can get it perfect. So again, I'm going to make this big. I'm going to do this tweaking here just to make sure that I've got it absolutely perfect. And then we're gonna go on and just watch how this goes. Remember, you've got two different lines. You've got your audio, you've got your video, and you just need to get the two to sync up. And that's pretty good. I'm going to run through. I'm going to collapse this a little bit so I can see where most of the talking is going on, because when you look at these audio files where there's more noise in the line, that's where more noise is in the timeline. So it's easier when you have noise and movement to line the two up. So I'm going to make it smaller here, and I'm going to find a bunch of noise, and then I'm just going to make sure I got the audio right, and I do. It's simple mathematics. You know, when one line equals the other, then everything is fine. So this is a real simple process. I made it a lot harder for myself than it had to be. I tried to go in and tweak settings and make this thing just capture it right. It just wouldn't do it. So I learned this little technique to fix it, and it's an easy fix. Okay, so not going to waste a whole lot of time on that. Let's go on and get the rest of this rendering stuff done. Anyway, so here it is at Christmas, and you can't hear this, I know, and I'm not going to bother playing this clip. But the sound, just so you know, the sound does equal the video, and you know, it is what it is. So we can go on from there. All right. I'm going to add more clips here. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next thing, I think. Get these other clips added on. I'm going to go ahead and edit them just like I did the one that you saw. I'm going to get rid of the dead spaces. I'm going to make the audio match the video. And as you can see in this other second clip, a few little dead spaces in that. So I'm going to unlink it, get my... Oh, this one, that's another thing I want to show you. There's some extra tracks in this for some reason. No idea why it does that. In the first clip, it didn't record the extra tracks. In the second clip, it recorded like 3 audio tracks. I just delete them. I don't need stereo for my home movies. If I want stereo later, I could just go ahead and duplicate the one track and put one on top of the other. So I just delete all of them but one. That way I only have to deal with one. Here I'm going to go ahead and cut out the dead air space that I showed you before in the previous clip. I'm going to find the gray area in the video, cut that out as well, because I believe that that's the culprit. And I'm going to have to make this a bigger timeline so that I can actually have the frames small enough to deal with. And here we go. And this is the 2 frames where it starts going bad. I just cut that out, delete that sucker. Now I'm only going to make the audio match the video, again using that little tool for the ripple editor or something like that. I forget exactly what it's called. And it gets you really close. It doesn't get you exact. You have to tweak it a little bit more after that usually, but it gets you really close. One of the things you can do too is right click that, and in the menu that appears, go to the speed duration choice, and you can get it down to the nanosecond then. And it's pretty self-explanatory. If you're computer savvy enough to be doing this or attempting this at all, you'll figure it out. Okay, so there's 2 clips that we've edited and manipulated. I've got the rest of these to go. All of these were from the same videotape. It's just when I did find the gray areas, I tried to stop it and save that as a clip so I didn't have as much editing to do, because I found out if you let the whole thing go, all sorts of crazy stuff can happen, man. You can get no audio, or you can get like aliens talking to you from another planet. It's really crazy. So I try to do as much damage control beforehand as I can. Not that it's not possible if you want to run the whole tape, but it does some crazy stuff, so I wouldn't recommend it. Alright, so we're going to go here, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to export this, save this as a file. Okay, so we're done with the editing. We're going to go up here and we're going to save this as a media file. Easiest way to do it is H.234, high bit rate, best compression, just the very top one, and then just leave everything just like it is my recommendation. Now if you're one of those tweakers that you've got to get the very best of the best, go ahead and give it a try, but I didn't find it to be conducive with anything that I wanted to do. So then you need to pick a place to render this. I usually render it as an MP4 first, and then after we render this as an MP4, I'm going to show you how to save it in DVD format. Right now we're in Premiere Pro still. I'm saving this as tape number 9 in the space where I want to save it, and I'm just saving it as an MP4. Alright, just the same quality that it captured it as. The high bit rate, but same quality. I not rendering at maximum depth. Doesn't make that big of a difference for these old tapes. It really doesn't. I've tried everything. It doesn't make a difference. You may think that you're going to get cinema quality out of this. You're not. You can try. I did. Not going to do it. So okay, so now we're going to wait for this thing to render. Once it renders, we're going to go ahead and pull up After Effects. I'm going to show you how to get the dust and grain out of it. Alright, so here we are in After Effects. It's rendered. You're going to go to File, pull up your file wherever you had saved this. Go ahead and start the new project. Go to File. You're going to import. Well, if it gives me the chance, we will. I swear to you here in just a second. Okay, so you're going to go to File. You're going to go to Import, File. And you're going to go to the MP4 that you just saved. Now for me this is tape number 9. So we're going to go to tape number 9, and I actually saved it in another folder just so I make sure I found the right one. So this is the video that we just rendered from our tape. It automatically appears on timeline, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to find distortions. And yep. So not distortions. It's what is it? It is. Yeah, there you go. So you're going to do the remove grain. You're going to go do the what you call it in grain, remove grain, and you're going to see this little box. This little box is just a preview area. Before you render this, you have to get rid of that. You have to make that full screen, otherwise it will render it with just that little preview area. So I go down here and I go to change these two settings, only do one pass, and the this box you can drag around to get an idea of what it's going to look like, the whole thing. So you go ahead, change that, final output, you want it to say final output, and what I always do is I go down here to my blend with original, and I go 15%, and I found that that's a really pretty good output. So do that, and now you're ready to go ahead and render it. Go ahead and export it as a Adobe Media Encoder file, and then it's going to bring up Adobe Media Encoder. Make sure that you've got all of this loaded on your machine beforehand. And you're going to save this a little differently. You're going to save this as a DVD file. And what this does is it's going to change it from an MP4 to an audio and a video file, two separate files that then Encoder, when we go to Encoder, can utilize to make your DVD for you. Alright, so you're going to see this Media Encoder Creative Cloud icon come up as the program loads. Once this program has loaded, I'll show you the settings that you can use. to get this thing ready for DVD. Alright, so it's going to take it a second, but it's going to load up here on the right hand side. When it does, I'll show you how to save it. So okay, so you're going to go up here and you're going to pick the MPEG option, MPEG DV, I think it is, whatever that says. Then go to whatever folder you want to hold it in. I've got an external hard drive and I've got a folder that's called DVD files, and then I'm going to make another folder that says disk 9 or tape 9 or whatever. And this is going to hold my audio and my video for this rendering that I'm about to do. I'm going to change it from MP4 to the DVD format like I told you. Alright, and if you look here, it shows you your options. You want MPEG 2 DVD. This is going to be, I'm not real sure what that is. This is going to show you where it's going to be output to, what it's going to be named. Make sure you've got all that correct. Then you go right up here and you hit the little green button and it starts rendering that, and it makes your DVD files. So there you have it. We've rendered that. You're going to open Encoder. I know I'm moving fast, but this isn't that complicated. You're going to go up here and you're going to change, once you've got everything loaded, you're going to start your new project and you're going to change the choice from build to, once you've put your new project name in, of course mine's tape number 9, but you're going to go change from build to, there we go, you're going to change it from your build to your first choice. You're going to go to import as asset. What you're going to do is you're going to grab your video and your audio that you just made and you put in a folder. You're just going to grab those and bring them in as an asset. And here we are. I'm going to my external hard drive. I'm going to the folder that's got my 2 files in it. There they are. Don't pay attention to that third one. Grab these 2. The one that looks like a video, the one that's got a little musical note on it if you're using a Mac. Open. Now you got to wait a second, and you can see that this is still in italics and it's giving you a percentage sign. Let that sucker load the whole way before you make a timeline out of it, because if you don't, it's not going to work right. Alright, so you let that load all the way. Then all you're going to do is you're going to highlight that, both files, right click, create a new timeline. And real easy. From here we're going to go, once we've created a new timeline, we're going to go up to the file tabs, the very top that we changed from build to the first one. Okay, we're going to, from build to assemble, I think it says. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be, and I can't really read that very well because I'm watching this and narrating it as we go along. Right click, go create timeline, new timeline. There you are. Now you've got your timeline. There's your DVD. You're ready to burn that sucker. Stick your DVD in, which I just did, and wait for this to pop up so that you can tell it that you don't want to do anything with it. Hold on, it's coming, I swear. Because anytime you put a new DVD in, that's going to it's going to try to prompt you to do something with it. So go to your build option, right there, build tab, and then make sure DVD is selected, not Blu-ray, unless you're doing a Blu-ray. There it is. There's the pop-up. Just hit ignore because I had just put a DVD in and wanted me to do something with it. Make sure everything's correct on that. You're only doing one copy. Hit build. Don't worry about it. Ignore and continue. All that's telling you is that there was some issues. Okay. Here we go. We're going to wait for this to render. Takes a few minutes. Okay, so here we are. We are going to test this and see how successful we were. Everybody ready? Here we go.
Where did those figures come from?
I don't know.
Hello.
Beck and Katie.
Katie and Becky, come here.
How you do it from start to finish. I know I moved awful fast through that. Shouldn't be a problem for most of you. Most of you should be able to figure that out pretty easily. Took me a long time. If you like that, hit the like button if that helps you. Man, subscribe. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. I know that I went fast and furious in this. I don't like long, drawn-out, time-wasting tutorials, so I don't make them myself. If you have any particular questions that I can help you with or anything that you can't figure out, most of the time I'm just trying to point you in the right direction, because if you're even attempting a project like this, you're probably tech-minded anyway. Feel free to leave comments, suggestions, and ask questions, and we'll see you next time.